Welcome, everyone, to Intensity Broadcasting for tonight's coverage of the Thunderstruck Super Series SamAllyCo Late Model Series. Tonight, these late model stock cars will be taking on the high banks of Kern County Raceway Park for 100 laps of racing action. I'll be your announcer for tonight. My name is Atlee @ManLease, and I am excited to call every second of tonight's white knuckle short track racing. Last week here in this series, we were at Myrtle Beach Speedway, and we saw Kyle Martinson grab his first win of the season after dominating the race, leading 67 of the 100 laps. Josh Oswald took second. Third was Kieran Church. Fourth, that was Christopher Reese. And rounding out your top five, Eric Tracy. Your other lap leaders included your 8th place finisher, Dylan Bates, who started on the pole and led 7 laps. And then finishing 13th was Jacob Boehm, who led 26 laps. So, after it all shook out after Myrtle Beach, Josh Oswald remains your point standings leader. He's got 1 win at Langley this season. Then we have a tie for second in points between Kieran Church and John Bennett. Both of them are 9 points back from Josh Oswald, so this championship is still not over yet. Jacob Boehm is 4th in the points. He's got 2 wins this season at North Wilkesboro and Hickory. And rounding out your top 5, 18 points back from Josh Oswald, that is Rick Rube. Dylan Bates is the only other driver with a win this season, and he got it at Nashville. Want to give a big thank you to our series sponsor, SamAllyCo. You see the logo on your screen for all that they do for this series. SamAllyCo is where art and expression comes to life. Step inside their curated collection of artful home decor and accessories designed to add personality and spark conversation in your everyday life. They believe that decor and accessories should be a reflection of you, filled with pieces that tell your story and inspire joy. Visit their Etsy store. The link is in the description, and you can browse a vast collection of unique and expressive items. And if you use promo code ATMAN10, you can get 10% off your order. Again, if you use promo code ATMAN10, you can get 10% off your SamAllyCo order. So thank you so much to SamAllyCo for sponsoring this late model stock car series. Speaking of these late model stock cars, let's take a look at what's going on in practice right now. And we see Kieran Church is on the top of the board with an 18.09. He is 200ths ahead of second place Josh Oswald. He's also 200ths ahead of third place Rick Rube. 4th on the board is Chris Reese. Rounding out your top 5, that is Tyler Rice. The top 5 all separated by less than a 10th. This is going to be a tight race, I think. I think there's multiple drivers that could bring it home tonight. And definitely a chance for a first-time winner tonight if, say, Rick Rube or Kieran Church or Chris Reese got it done tonight. Of course, Josh Oswald, he could be a repeat winner. He is the only driver in the field that would be a repeat winner after winning at Langley earlier this season. But it looks like after practice is all said and done, Kieran Church is going to be on the top of the board. And we got the hard crash there to wrap up practice between Alex Veith and Aaron Ward. Hopefully that's not a sign of what's to come in this race. Oh, we got a car airborne and flipping. A lot going on in practice here. All right, qualifying is underway. Drivers will get 2 laps to try to set their best possible lap time, and that will determine where they will start in the feature event. And I apologize. There's something going on with my trading paints with the custom numbers. So if you see something messed up with the paint scheme or it just looks like a default paint scheme, I'm just having some issues. But we should get everything back squared away with training paints after this broadcast. Before next week, gonna try to get it fixed. We see right now Josh Oswald on his first lap, able to put it to the top of the board with an 18.15. That puts him a 10th ahead of second place Chris Reese. Third is Sam Wettstein, who puts down an 18.37. That puts him 2/10 off of Josh Oswald. And Rick Rube able to get to the top of the board with an 18.12. That puts him 300ths ahead over second place Josh Oswald. Chris Reese is third with an 18.18. He's 600ths off of Rick Rubin. We still have Kern Church that needs to qualify. He was fastest there in practice. There's Aaron Ward crossing the start-finish line. Oh, Tyler Rice able to get up to third with an 18.17. That puts him 500ths off of Rick Rube. And Kieran Church able to get to the top of the board with a 18.10. That will put him 200ths ahead over Rick Rubin. Kyle Martinson just joined the session. He did not practice at all, but he's going to try to get 2 in a row tonight. He's got qualifying to try to figure this place out. Kyle Martinson, very talented driver. If there's a driver that could finish this place out very quickly, that would be him. So let's see what he can bust on the board here. Kern County, a newer track to iRacing, so this could be some drivers in this field's first or second time running here. A lot of these guys very unfamiliar, so we'll see how quickly those who are new to this place can figure it out. Kyle Martinson off of turn number 4. He's going to turn, let's see, he's 9th right now. He jumps up to second on the board with an 18.11, only 100th of a second off of Kieran Church, but he settles into second. So your top 10 is set for tonight's event. Let's quickly talk about the track that we are racing at tonight. Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. Located along the I-5 corridor near Bakersfield, Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway is a fantastic half-mile oval that features plenty of great racing action and competition. While the track itself is a replacement for Mesa Marin Raceway, both of its oval and dirt oval tracks have plenty of cheering crowds that are hungry for roaring race cars on any race day. Like I said, new addition to iRacing added 1 or 2 seasons ago. I believe 2 seasons ago was when it was added, and it's a great addition. This is a really fun track because of its massive banking. It's very racy, and we're going to see some great racing tonight. You can really make that outside work. I called another late model stock car race here, and people could do really well on that outside, especially with the recent track state update. So Kern County, very racy, very fun track. And it's good in any vehicle. I raced here in an official race in the trucks, and it was a lot of fun. I think it'd be cool if NASCAR actually puts the trucks in real life here at Kern County. I think that would be a fun race for sure. But there we go. Qualifying wrapping up. Kieran Church puts it on the pole with an 18.10, but he's going to have some stiff competition from Kyle Martinson. Let's talk about the cars that we are racing at tonight. These are the newest late model stock car vehicles available on iRacing. They replaced the old Chevrolet Monte Carlo SS's. The car's late model stock is a 500 horsepower V8 roaring beast for many short tracks and mile oval tracks throughout the southeast. The car is double arm suspension with coilover shocks and springs combined with a truck arm and track bar, giving it the stability, agility, and proper turn needed to get around the tight short tracks and wider mile oval tracks with relative ease. The car also features a 4-speed manual transmission with 475 foot-pounds of torque, giving it some serious muscle out on the track. And if you have not seen these cars race in real life before or on a platform like Flow Racing, these things are beasts. They fly around the racetrack, so I'm interested to see how they handle this high bank track that is Kern County. They're flying around here. So this should be fun, but for those of you watching online right now, let me know who your pick is to win tonight's event. Got 10 cars starting this event. 10 very stout cars for sure. So let me know who you're cheering for or who is your pick to win, because it's going to be a fun one. Right now here in this warm-up, nobody's completed a lap yet. It's kind of been a demolition derby here in this warm-up. Drivers wrecking each other. It looks like they found like a ramp in the infield to just jump off of into the turns 1 and 2 wall. Hopefully nobody tries that in the race. And Chris Reith, the only guy to put down a time with a 20.34. I mean, he's starting 6th. Can't count him out. Watch out for that 62. All right, let's take a look at your starting lineup for tonight's event. Starting on the pole with an 18.098. That is the number 22 Velocity Motorsports driver of Kieran Church. Outside of him in second, that is Kyle Martinson in the 07. Third is the 81 of Rick Rube. Fourth, that is Velocity Motorsports' Josh Oswald in the 17. And rounding at your top 5, that is the 6 Oval Addicts driver of Tyler Rice. 6, that's Highside Racing's Chris Reese in the 62. 7th is the 51 Dark Horse Motorsports driver of Alex Veith. 8th, it's the Velocity Motorsports driver of Smokin' Sam Wetstein in the 98. 9th is the 12 Reaper Racing driver of William the Griftozer Griffith. And rounding at your top 10, that is Aaron Ward. So there we go. The field is set. 10 drivers, only one can win. We'll see who that will be. Again, Kieran Church restarting on the bottom. He's going to have Kyle Martinson on his outside. Kieran Church starting on the pole, looking to try to get the monkey off of his back tonight. He has come short many times this season. He had a podium last week at Myrtle Beach, but he hasn't broken into victory lane, and I know he is hoping that tonight is the night, but he's got 9 other cars trying to prevent that from happening. Pace car is in. Flagman has the green flag in hand, and green flag is in the air. Your late model stock car event is underway here at Kern Raceway. Kieran Church leads the field into 1 and 2 with Kyle Martinson on his outside. Martinson still on his right rear a little bit, sticking with him into turns 3 and 4. He's got a big run, making it work up there, but Kieran Church with the momentum on the bottom. That is the preferred group, but a big run for Kyle Martinson. He clears Kieran Church heading into 1 and 2. And in only 1 lap, Kyle Martinson takes the race lead over this field. Kieran Church tucks in line in second. And there goes Rick Rube underneath them. They're door-to-door off of turn number 4. Rube with the nose as they cross the start-finish line. And oh, Josh Oswald makes it 3 wide into 1 and 2. And we see Church backs out of it. He settles for 4th there. Now we're side by side for second with Rick Rube and Josh Oswald. Oswald with the nose off of 4, trying to clear that 81 as they cross the start-finish line. He is almost able to. Yes, he has. Josh Oswald up to second now. Big mover since the green flag has dropped. He started 4th, up to second now, trying to track down Kyle Martinson for this race lead. And it looks like he is reeling him in. Last time by, Oswald ran his personal best lap time of the race with an 18.38. He Josh Oswald last time by just turned the fastest lap time of the race with an 18.23. He's looking underneath the 07, trying to see if he can make a pass. And the bottom is open up off of 4, maybe trying to set something up for 1 and 2 here. He's not able to, but that 17 really quick right now. He is right on the 07's back bumper as they head into 3 and 4. Josh Oswald just waiting for that right opportunity. He looks low, heading into 1 and 2. He's there. He's to his door. They're door to door up off of turn number 2. Oswald with the nose, heading into 3 and 4, but Martinson fighting back on the outside, making it work up there. Oswald trying to clear him up off of 4 here. Not quite able to. Martinson keeping it there, but no, Oswald clears them as they head into turns 1 and 2. And Josh Oswald is up to the race lead. After starting in 4th, he's made some big gains, and he is up to 1st in only 8 laps. Got some other action elsewhere in the field. We get the battle for 5th going on here. William Griffith has got a door-to-door battle between Alex Veith and Tyler Rice behind him. And actually, we got a battle for 2nd maybe beginning to brew as Rick Rube trying to reel in Kyle Martinson for 2nd here. We just saw Martinson lose that 1st place spot to Josh Oswald. And it looks like Kieran Church is really saving because he's currently running in this 9th place spot. After starting on the pole, I don't know if he's banking on a caution to come out later in this race, or he's just really saving those tires, really conserve them, and he's hoping to rocket back up through the field when it hits about the halfway point or 3/4 of the way through this race. Oh, looks like Chris Reese is underneath Rick Rube for this 3rd place spot. Reese with the nose off of turn number 4. They remain door to door into turns 1 and 2. And Reese clears them up off of 2. Now Griffith underneath Rick Rube. Floodgates opening for that 81 car. They remain door to door through turns 3 and 4. Pushing up there a little bit is that 12 of William Griffith. That gives some momentum to Rube up on the top side. And he clears him and tucks in line into that 4th place spot. But Griffith not letting Rube get too far ahead. As I say that, we see Rube extends that gap a little bit. Now Chris Reese trying to reel in Kyle Martinson for this 2nd place spot. Reese right now looking high, looking low, trying to see where Martinson is giving up that bottom. And that's where Reese is going to want to try to make that pass. We'll see what he can do here. And he may also have to play some defense here if Rick Rube can reel him in. I don't know, though. There's still a decent gap between those two. I mean, Reese is right there. He loses him a little bit, though, heading into turns 1 and 2. Trying to make up that ground back. I don't know, maybe if he slipped up on entry a little bit. But looks like Kyle Martinson has got it figured out a little bit because he's starting to extend that gap over Chris Reese a little bit. Chris Reese keeping it close, though, not letting that 07 get too far ahead. And one guy who's loving seeing these two battle it out right now is Josh Oswald, because that means that he can just continue to extend that gap as those two race each other and worry about each other. Josh Oswald currently with a 2-second lead over 2nd place Kyle Martinson. Dominant performance from him since taking the lead. Looking for win number 2 tonight. He won earlier this season at Langley. Of course, Langley and this track we're running at tonight here, Kern Raceway. 2 very different tracks. Langley, a very low banking track. While here at Kern County, we have, this track is a high amount of banking. the exact, it's 0 to 14 degrees in the turns. This place has progressive banking, which means that at different spots of the corner, it's a different amount of banking. Very similar to Bristol. Like I said, this Kern County, very good addition to iRacing here. A lot of people love this track. And oh, Chris Reed's got very close to the back bumper of Kyle Martinson. He is there. He looks underneath him, heading into 1 and 2. He is to his left rear, trying to hold that 07 on the outside, but it looks like Martinson clears him. And now here comes Rick Rube and William Griffith reeling in this field as well. We see Aaron Ward slow there on the bottom of the racetrack. He goes a lap down. Chris Reese, big run off of turn number 2. He looks underneath Martinson again. He's to that left rear. He is to his door now, up off of turn number 4. But we see Martinson fighting back on the outside, looking to shut the door, and he is able to. So Reese tucks back in line in this third place spot for the time being, trying to set something up again. Rick Rube is there as well right now. Chris Reese having to fight a battle on 2 fronts, not only trying to get by Kyle Martinson, but he's also having to hold off Rick Rube. But you really got to focus on what's going on in front of you, and you see he's doing that right there as he gets to the left rear of Kyle Martinson, heading into 3 and 4. But Kyle Martinson really strong on that outside. He's got a good exit, and he clears Chris Reese once again, and he's going to have to make that 62 set up yet another pass. He is there on the back bumper. He looks low heading into 3 and 4, but he can't get to the left rear. So Chris Reese staying in third for the time being. Still, Rick Rube keeping it close to the back bumper of that 62, although we see Chris Reese gets a little bit of a jump between himself and Rick Rube. We are a quarter of the way through this race here at Kern Raceway. It's been all Josh Oswald pretty much since lap number 8. There's Chris Reese looking underneath Martinson again for the second place spot. He is to his left rear. But it looks like once again on exit of 4, Martinson is going to clear him up off. Chris Reese just really needs to work on those exits when he gets underneath that 07. That's what he's struggling with right now. And that's how Martinson keeps beating him up off. And the key to that is entry. I don't know, and speaking of entry, there goes Chris Reese trying to get underneath Martinson to get on entry. He's to that left rear. He is to his door. He keeps it at his door heading into 3 and 4, and they're pretty much side by side through 3 and 4. Chris Reese with the nose off the corner. He's got a nice run heading into 1 and 2, and he clears Kyle Martinson. Chris Reese up to that second place spot now, but Kyle Martinson looking to try to make the crossover. He dives underneath the 62, heading into 3 and 4. He's to his left rear. He's to his door. They're side by side down to the line. Battle for second here. Chris Reese trying to clear him on the outside, but Martinson keeping it on his left rear. Can Reese clear him up off? Yes, he is able to. So Chris Reese has now sole possession over that second place spot, and he is beginning to try to extend that gap over Kyle Martinson. Now Rick Rube trying to reel in this 07. We'll see if this 81 can do that here. Looks like William Griffith under pressure from Sam Wetstein. This is the battle for 5th. Sam Wetstein trying to break into the top 5 for the first time tonight. He started this race in 8th. Rough night for Aaron Ward. He's been on pit road for about 3 minutes now. 2 minutes. His race is over. So to the Aaron Ward fans, Aaron Ward's race is done tonight. Looks like Kyle Martinson is extending that gap over Rick Rube, but now William Griffith all over the back bumper of that 81 trying to make something happen here for 4th. And William Griffith, he's having a fight and play offense and defense here because he has that 98 of Sam Wetstein behind him, putting some pressure on that number 12 machine. I mean, from third to about 5th or 6th right now, feel very tight. And oh, looks like we might have saw a little bit of a slip up from Kyle Martinson, because here comes Rick Rube reeling him in once again. Looks like Martinson extends that gap over that 81. Rick Rube keeping it close, not letting Martinson get too far ahead. Between Chris Reese and Kyle Martinson, between 2nd and 3rd, we've almost got a 1-second gap now. While from Oswald to Chris Reese, it's about a 2.5-second gap. So your top 2 in worlds of their own right now. But we got a battle going on for 4th as Rick Rube has a big run off of turn number 4. He's peeking underneath that 81. We see Rick Rube trying to reel Kyle Martinson back in here. He's looking high, looking low. Rube just trying to find where Martinson has given up that bottom, where he can make that move. Rick Rube wants a win bad tonight. He's currently 5th in the standings, has not broken into the win column. He's came short a couple of times, but hasn't got it done. So Rick Rube, another one of those guys in the fields that really wants to get that monkey off their back tonight. But he's got to make it by Kyle Martinson, Chris Reese, and Oswald to get up to that race lead, which is going to be a tough task considering how quick your top 3 are right now. But Rube is keeping it close, right within the 07. There he is, taking it up off of turn number 4. And let's look at the onboard cam of Rick Rube. Let's see a lap around this place. And there you can see, heading into 3 and 4, just how big this banking is. We see by about the center of the corner. There he is hitting that apex. Gets back up off. Really smooth there through the corners for Rick Rube. But yeah, look at that. Look how daunting that banking is heading into 3 and 4 there, and 1 and 2. This is a crazy track. Looks like Kieran Church, who started this race on the pole, he has now dropped down a lap. It's been a rough race for him. I'm not sure exactly what happened. He just immediately fell to the rear of the field, and he's just been there ever since then. And as Josh Oswald crosses the start-finish line, we are halfway through this 100-lap event. 50 laps down, 50 more to go. Josh Oswald currently with a 2-second lead over Chris Reese. The lead has decreased a little bit, but it's looking good for that 17 right now. Still, I mean, from 3rd to 6th, this field is very tight right now. William Griffith trying to get by this 81 for 4th right now. We see Rick Rube keeping it a pretty good distance away from that number 12 machine. But it's a big run off of turn number 2 for the Griftozer. He closes in that gap for the 81. We see Kieran Church just ran his personal best lap time of the race. Looks like he's about to get passed by your 3rd place driver, Kyle Martinson. Lap traffic could play a factor here in this battle between Rube and Griffith. We've seen lap traffic play a factor before. We saw it last week at Myrtle Beach, where we saw an incident between, I believe it was Martinson in a lap car. But you never know. Lap cars can always play a factor. And we see Kieran Church just ran another personal best lap time of this race. Wow. He's running some really fast times right now. But he's a lap down. So I don't know if it's too little too late for this 22, or if he can get back on the lead lap and get back up through the field. I don't know if he was expecting for it to be this long of a green flag run. But we'll see if he can work his way back up through the field here. We continue to watch this battle for fourth between Rick Rube and William Griffith. Griffith able to get to the Rube's left rear off of turn number 2. They're door-to-door through 3 and 4. Griffith with the nose up off the corner, and he clears him as they head into turns 1 and 2. Rube trying to fight back on the outside, but he is not able to. Now here comes Sam Wettstein joining the battle again. He's going to try to make it by this 18 now. He looks low heading into 3 and 4. He's able to get to his left rear, and the floodgates are opening for Rick Rube. Maybe. Looks like he clears Sam Wettstein, preventing him from taking that 5th place spot. We will see what Sam Wettstein can do here. And we are lap number 60, 40 more to go. Josh Oswald, 2-second lead over the rest of the field. Want to quickly talk about our web store, IntensityRacing.com. Intensity is proud to help with all of your custom merchandise needs for your business, racing team, or anything in between, with a focus on customer service and getting you in contact with a real person. We can get you from idea to product with ease. You can leave your information on our website, again, IntensityRacing.com, and comment with information on what you're looking for, and we'll get back to you in record time. We do custom bulk orders, racing apparel, and more. We've got our driver collections, our team collections, our novelty collections, our lifestyle collections, our iRacing collections. So definitely check out our web store, IntensityRacing.com. Again, we do custom bulk orders, custom printing, racing apparel, and more. Definitely check it out. We see Alex Veith starting to track down Sam Wettstein for this 6th place spot right now. Last time by, Veith was about 3/10 faster than Wettstein. I don't know if Wettstein made a little slip up or he's burned off his tires, but Veith has got a big run off of turn number 4. He's tracking him down fast. And we see Rick Rube starting to reel William Griffith back in for this 4th place spot. We saw earlier Griffith made it by Rube, but Rube says, hey, I want this 4th place position back. He's got a big run on Griffith heading into 1 and 2. He carries a nice run off of turn number 2 on that backstretch. I mean, he is within striking distance right now. And there he goes. He's looking underneath him, heading into 1 and 2. He's to his left rear. He's to his door. They're door-to-door up off with, and there we go. Rick Rube able to clear William Griffith, and he gets back up to that 4th place spot. So now William Griffith falling to 5th, but he's keeping it right within the tire tracks of that 81, not letting him get too far ahead. This battle is not over between these two. And whoa, we got a gaggle of race cars right now. We see Tyler Rice trying to make it by Sam Wettstein for this 6th place spot. He is to his right rear on the outside. He's got a big run up off of turn number 2. Can he make a pass on the outside? Let's see. He's still got the nose over Wettstein up off of turn number 4. And he is able to clear him. Tyler Rice takes his number 6 into position number 6. Wettstein falls to P7. And that gap between Oswald and Reese is continuing to decrease, but I don't know if it's too little too late for that 62. Alex Veith now trying to reel in Sam Wettstein for 7th here. I feel like looks like both of these drivers are about 3/10 off the rest of the field right now. And Veith able to get to Wettstein's left rear. He was off of 4. He's continuing to try to set it up. Almost there. And we see Veith. He got very close once again, but he's going to continue to have to try to set up this pass on the 98. He's got a big run into 3 and 4. Can he get to his left rear? Yes, he is. Veith, door-to-door with Wettstein, off of 4. Alex Veith with the nose as they cross the start-finish line, trying to clear him up off of 2 here, and he is able to. Alex Veith up into position number 7, knocking Sam Wettstein down to 8th. We see Josh Oswald keeping about a 1.8 second lead over Chris Reese. And let's do a quick flyby through the field to see where your favorite driver is at. Right now, we got Josh Oswald in first. He's led majority of this race with 25 laps to go here. Chris Reese in second, currently running in that 3rd place spot after starting in second. That is Kyle Martinson. 4th is Rick Rube. And rounding out your top 5, that is William Griffith, but he could be under pressure from Tyler Rice here. Tyler Rice currently running in 6th. Alex Veith is in 7th. Sam Wettstein is your 8th place driver. In 9th place, it's been a rough race for him. That's Kieran Church in the 22. And rounding out your top 10, he's already manually disconnected. That is Aaron Ward. But like I said, William Griffith under pressure from Tyler Rice. This is for the 5th place spot. Tyler Rice wants to put his car on the graphic after every finish. Thunderstruck makes a graphic of your top 5. So Tyler Rice wants to get on that graphic. He gets side by side with Griffith as they cross the start finish line. Rice with the nose heading into 1 and 2, and he clears him. So Tyler Rice into the top 5, but Griffith is close, trying to make a crossover into 1, 3, and 4. But he is not able to, and Tyler Rice already extending that gap over that number 12 machine. I mean, Chris Reese isn't making big chips at this lead. In fact, it's kind of gotten bigger now to 2 seconds. Josh Oswald, that's his lead over Chris Reese right now, and Josh Oswald, he took the lead on lap number 8 after starting in 4th. He quickly worked his way up to the field, made some good moves, and since then he has just ran away from the rest of the field. Saw Chris Reese got by Kyle Martinson early in the race, and he has since then been keeping it steady in the 2nd place spot. And Martinson, he's had a lot of pressure from Rick Rube and William Griffith, but he's been able to hang on to this 3rd place position thus far. So with 19 laps to go, it's looking pretty good for Josh Oswald. He needs something very rough to happen for Chris Reese to have any sort of chance. This would be Josh Oswald's 2nd win of the season. He won earlier this season at Langley. Like I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, Langley and Kern Raceway, 2 very different tracks. So Josh Oswald, he's showing that he can get it done, whether it's a track with very low banking or a track with very high banking. The field very spread out right now. There's not any one battle to really keep your eye out on right now. As we see Josh Oswald crosses the line, making it 15 laps to go. 15 more laps for him to try to get it done. I don't know. I don't think right now, I'm not sure if Chris Reese has anything, if he has anything for Oswald, but this is racing. We know that anything can happen, and oh, there's some lap traffic. Josh Oswald is going to have to deal with that. Sam Wettstein he's coming up on right now. And looks like no problems there for Oswald. He puts Wettstein down a lap, and Oswald keeps chugging along, but the gap between himself and Reese did decrease a little bit there. And Rick Rube is reeling in Kyle Martinson fast for this third place spot. Kyle Martinson is about 2/10 slower right now, and Rick Rube is looking underneath him, heading into 1 and 2, trying to get to that left rear. Martinson trying to be defensive and hold on to this third place spot that he's held on to for a majority of this race. And Rick Rube gets to his left rear off of 4. He keeps it there as they head into 1 and 2. Rube clears Martinson up off of 2, and Rick Rube is up onto the podium with 11 laps to go, but Martinson trying not to let him get too far ahead. He wants to try to take that third position back, but I don't know if he's able to. So now Rick Rube setting his sights on your third place driver, Chris Reese. Rube trying to get up to that runner-up position. He's got 10 laps to try to close the gap. Josh Oswald still with a 1.7 second lead over the rest of the field. I don't know. I don't know if anybody has anything for him, but like I said, this is racing. Anything can happen. And Chris Reese is hoping for that anything to happen right now. He needs something crazy. Josh Oswald right now. Oh, we got a battle for second. Rick Rube closing in on Chris Reese right now. He's come up to the field like a man on a mission, going from 4th to 3rd, and he's about to take 2nd. He's got a big run into 3 and 4. He gets to Reese's left rear as they cross the start-finish line. He is to his door as they head through 1 and 2. He's got the nose up off now, trying to clear that 62. And he is able to. Rick Rube up into the runner-up position. He's made a mad dash to the front of the field during these last few laps. He's got 5 laps to try to track down Josh Oswald for this race lead. 1.3 seconds separates Josh and Rick Rube. Rick Rube's fast, but does he have enough speed to get up to that 17? 4 laps to go. The gap is now down to 1.1 seconds. This race is not over yet. Rick Rube has gotten the gap to the lead to less than 1 second. We're coming to 3 laps to go now, and Rick Rube is decreasing that gap very quickly. Josh Oswald just trying to stay smooth, trying to stay consistent here, trying to make 0 mistakes, because he can't afford to have one with how close Rick Rube is now. 2 laps to go, 0.5 of a second separates Josh Oswald and Rick Rube. 0.4 now. Rick Rube trying to do everything in his power to get up to that back bumper. 0.3 separates Rube and Oswald. White flag is in the air. Will it be enough? Rick Rube has got it down to less than 0.3. Here he is coming through turns 1 and 2. He can sniff the back bumper of that 17. He's going to send it into 3 and 4. Going to try to get there. Will he be too short? I don't know. He is there. He gets to his back bumper. It's going to be close. It's going to be Oswald. Oswald, in a close finish, grabs his second win of the season. Rick Rube was so close, but it was too little, too late there for that 81, and he remains winless this season. He got so close. Wow. And Josh Oswald burning it down on the front stretch, celebrating win number 2 for this season. What a race for Josh the Jet Oswald. He was a jet, and he goes like a jet as he flies into the air after a hit from Kern and Church. And there we go. Go ahead and put your results for tonight's event on the screen. See where your favorite driver ended up. But it is now time for the driver interviews. We'll go ahead and talk to everyone and just see how they feel about the race's events. First of all, let's go ahead and talk to your third place finisher out of Watts. Let's talk to Chris Reese. He's a driver for Highside Racing. Chris, this is Atlanta in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Loud and clear, man. How you doing?
Doing good up here in the broadcast booth, and looks like you're doing pretty good out there on track tonight, parking it on the podium. You had a good start to this race, working your way up through the field, able to get by Kyle Martinson to second, and you hung out there for a lot of this race, but then we saw there in those last few laps, Rick Rube came up to the field, got by you, took second, but you're able to hang on to third. So, podium, solid finish tonight. Walk us through your race and, walk us through how you were able to work your way up from sixth and parked it on the podium.
Early in the race, I was really just trying to save tire, and I guess a few guys were saving more than me, like obviously Rick did. And then I saw Josh starting to walk away there, and it took me a little bit to get around Martinson because I knew if Josh got too far out, there was just not going to be any catching him with me and him kind of running the same lap times. And then once I could reel him in about a tenth here or there, and then he'd stretch it back out whenever I'd make a mistake, and we just kind of stayed at that distance. And then once Rick got there, you almost just kind of had to move over and let him go how much faster he was than us.
Now with this banking, very hard on the tires. What was the key to saving tires tonight?
I was actually dragging the brake on corner entry, letting the car really roll through the middle, then easing back in the throttle late to just kind of let the car keep momentum up, but at the same time, keep the pace going.
Gotcha. Well, before we let you go, Chris, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
Yeah, of course, you guys up in the booth always for putting on the show for us. Josh and the Tunderstruck Super Series, Refab Inc., and that's about it for me.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the podium tonight. Have a great rest of your night.
All right, you do the same.
Thank you. All right, let's now pull in your second place finisher. It's going to be the 81 of Rick Rube. Rick, this is Atlas in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I do. How you doing, Atlas?
Doing good up here in the broadcast booth, and man, that was a close one tonight here at Kern Raceway. You came so close. I saw, you were running about the 4th, 5th place position there for the first half of this race, and then all of a sudden, you started coming up through the field like a man on a mission, got by Martinson pretty quickly, got by Reese there up to second, and during those 5 laps, we saw you were quickly chipping away at the gap between yourself and Oswald, and you were there on his back bumper, coming to the line, and you got so close, but only a tenth separated you all, but you ended up coming in line here in second. So, just walk us through your race and, walk us through, what was going through your mind those last 5 laps as you were just trying to track down Oswald there.
Well, I was listening to his lap times and watching mine. I was well over 2 tenths faster than he was. Coming hard, but I just come up short. I needed one more lap. If I would have started my run 1 lap sooner, we would have got there.
Yeah, it looked like you did a great job saving tires with how quickly you worked your way up through the field. And what was the key tonight? What was your secret to just keeping those tires fresh till the end?
Well, you just got to turn a smooth corner. You don't want to burn any more up than you have to. And some of them guys wanted to go too fast too early, so I just kind of let them go and just ride nice and easy behind them. Don't try to pressure anybody, and for sure, don't make any low passes or run side by side with anybody. It's really hard on the right front.
Now, before we let you go, is there any sponsors or shout outs?
Yeah, I mean Revelry Racing, Velocity Motorsports, all them guys. Obviously, the Islander Inn and the Naughty Perch Bar that sponsor the car. Appreciate their efforts.
Well,
And you guys for broadcasting. It's great.
yeah, we always have fun doing these races here with the Thunderstruck Super Series. So you put on a good show to the finish. Congrats on the runner-up tonight, Rick. Have a great rest of your night.
Thanks, Allie.
And now let's pull in your winner out of Lori Station, Pennsylvania, bringing it home for the second time this season. Let's talk to Josh the Jet Oswald. Josh, this is Atlee in the broadcast booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man. How are you?
Doing good, and looks like you had a great race tonight here at Kern Raceway. A dominant performance. Now, you started this race in fourth and quickly worked your way up to the field to that race lead. Lap 8 got there, and you just drove away from the rest of the field. But we saw there towards the end, Rick was reeling him in bit by bit by bit, and finally he was there on your back bumper on that last lap. But you were able to hold him off and secure your second win of the season. So just walk us through your dominant performance tonight and how you got it done. I mean, what do you think you did differently than everybody else that put you in victory lane tonight?
Well, luckily, I ran Sarah Contender Series last night, and that was also at Kern for 100 laps in these cars. Different setup. That was an open setup race, but it gave me some laps. I bought this track on Monday. I hadn't run any laps at it, but it kind of gave me, running with the Sarah guys, gave me a good feel. And once I was able to get out front and saw I had a decent gap, I was started to dial back more into the tire save mode. But I certainly did not save as much as Rick. If that race was one lap longer, Rick Rube wins that race. And I saw him go in real high in the 3 on the last lap, so I knew I had to exit real low to block that crossover. But yeah, if that race was any longer, Rick would be your winner.
Now, you say you just bought Kern County on Monday. I mean, what's the biggest learning curve within this place? Because, I mean, with the banking and everything, this is a very unique track. So what was the biggest learning curve? And, I mean, what do you like this track? Like, is this one of your favorites?
It's good. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, with these late model stocks, it definitely seems to be a momentum track. You need to try and scrub as little speed off in the corner because the cars don't have the horsepower to make up for it if you make a mistake. You just got to take your time, build your momentum back up, and and hope at that point. But I mean, that's the biggest thing I learned last night was keeping my momentum and just trying to be as smooth as possible. Now, I haven't driven it with any other car, but I mean, we do have the tour mods here later on this season, so I'm looking forward to letting a tour mod rip around here with the horsepower and more tire. That should be real fun.
Now, before I let you go, Josh, is there any sponsors or shout-outs?
I'd like to thank you for taking care of the broadcast. It's great as always. Everybody at Thunderstruck, Velocity Motorsports, Holland Mass Dumpsters, Jason Warren for being the best team cheerleader we could ever hope for. He's a retired racer, semi-pro Madden player. We don't get to see him that much, but, and just my friends and family to watch.
Awesome. Well, again, congrats on the win tonight, Josh. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, sir.
All right, well, that will do it for tonight's event. One more time, congrats to Josh on his second win of the season. I want to give a big thank you to all of the league admins, Daniel Pope, Josh Oswald, Sam Wetstein, William Griffith, Aaron Ward, Michael Swink, Shannon Wilder, Jason Warren. Thank you to all of them for all that they do for this league, keeping it running nice and smoothly. Big thank you to series sponsor, SamAllyCo, for sponsoring this late model series. Make sure to go visit their Etsy store link in the description and browse a vast collection of unique expressive items. And if you use code ATMAN10 at checkout, you can get 10% off your order. to give a big thank you to everyone who tuned in and watched tonight. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe to Intensity Broadcasting on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook, as that'd be greatly appreciated. We're trying to reach our goals of 2,500 followers on Facebook and 1,000 subscribers on YouTube and Twitch. Check out our Twitter page, Intensity Broad 1. We're always dropping polls and interacting with our viewers on there. And check out our web store, IntensityRacing.com. There you can find, there we do custom bulk orders and custom printing, and we have a vast selection of racing apparel to choose from. We got so much more on there, so go check out our website, IntensityRacing.com. Next week, the Thunderstruck late models will be taking on 5 flags. So 5 flags, always a fun track. You are not going to want to miss that. So turn on your notification bell so you know exactly when we go live next Thursday, again at 5 flags. I'm Atlee Atman, Weist, on behalf of the entire Intensity Broadcasting team. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.